Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you guys did not already know, my name is Jordan, better known as Jordan T Fit on all socials. You guys came on a fun day. Number one, we are going to be doing a full day of eating both on the weekend and untracked. The last what I eat in a day was during the week. During the week, I'm very on track. I'm not only tracking my food like in an app, but I am purposely eating super clean, sticking to my macros, sticking to my calories. So on the weekends, I like to let loose. I like to go out with my friends, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you guys in this video. Secondly, on a more serious note, I am going to be discussing my experience with binging and then how I overcame it, which I think is just such a great topic, and I'm finally ready to talk about it because for the longest time I totally denied that I binged. So now that we are open and we want to share our experience, I'm just ready to tell you guys everything about it, how I overcame it, and some steps that will hopefully help you guys if you're struggling with it too. The girl just showered, washed her hair. She has yet to eat. So today I decided to do a what I eat in a day on the weekend, aka untracked. So recently in the morning, I've been craving some sweet rather than like savory. So I've been making protein oatmeal literally every morning, and it's such a good way because I try to get in all my protein, like a good amount of it in the beginning of the day, so at nighttime I'm not like cramming protein down my throat. So for breakfast today, we're going to be making some protein oats with the best, I swear, the best protein flavor I've ever had, and it's by Rise. And it's their chocolate cookie blast. I always go to say Oreo, but it's called chocolate cookie blast. But yeah, literally the best flavor ever. So let's get started. My kitchen's a disaster, so ignore that. We are just gonna be starting with a whole pack of these like pre-made, pre-flavored oats. These ones are just maple and brown sugar. This is personally my favorite flavor, but that's just me. So like I said, I just used the whole pack. Kind of what I was saying before, like I like to have my bigger meals in the beginning of the day, so at the end of the night I'm not like, crud, I still have 500 calories to kill. So this one's a hefty one. All right, so the key tip to making protein oats, at least the way that I make it, they always come out perfect. So I have a lot of people that tell me theirs come out like concrete. Let's fix that. So I only put the dry oats in. I do not touch the protein yet. Like when you would make regular oats, yeah, you'd put in water, but for protein oats, you want to put in a lot of water because the protein tends to soak the water up. As you can see, we have a lot more water than oats, so all we're gonna do now, that was a cup of water to one packet. We're just gonna throw it in the microwave for 1 minute and 20 seconds. All right, now it's out of the microwave, and see how it's still pretty liquidy? That is what we want. We don't want no concrete, or we don't want no like super soup. You want it perfectly in between. All right, next step. So now that we still have a little bit of water, our oats are already cooked, we're just gonna take our protein. I'm doing a full scoop because like I said, I like to get my protein in, and this flavor is literally just so good. You can use whatever flavor you want, but this one is just so good. So you do that, and then you're just gonna mix it up very, very well. All right, here we go. See how it's not literally concrete? Like it's still sliding a little bit in the bowl. That is what we want. And now for the fun part. So I've been like really emphasizing just getting my fruits and veggies in, so I'm not gonna throw no veggies on this, but I am gonna get a majority of fruit on here now. So I just cut up some strawberries and then some frozen bananas, and for some reason like frozen fruit in hot oatmeal, like it just melts and it tastes so good. So let me do that. All right boys, here she is, and now all I'm gonna do is top it with some local honey. So good. You can do peanut butter, literally whatever you want to put on it, but I just like honey on top of my fruit. This is my first time ever trying mango.
It's my first time ever trying mango.
Wait.
You telling me? You telling that?
I don't like that texture. It's sour.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
Mango.
It is now lunchtime, aka my pre-lift meal. So I usually make this one a pretty large one. It's been about 2 hours since I ate breakfast, so moving along today. So today for lunch, I'm just making some like teriyaki chicken stir fry filled with veggies over some white rice. All right, so we have our chopped cooked chicken right here, and we're just waiting for our veggies to cook. So we have some onions, some green pepper, some broccoli, and then some cut up zucchini. And then this is the sauce I'm using for the teriyaki. It's a no soy teriyaki organic. I found it at Target, so there's that. All right, then I just mixed everything together. Everything's already cooked, and then we're just gonna take some of the sauce. Where is it? Some of the sauce that I showed you guys, and I just kind of do it with the heart. Like I said, we are loosely tracking here. We are not measuring a tablespoon of teriyaki sauce out. Okay, and then here's the final product. All right, post-lift, we are going to Topgolf with some friends, so I will be eating my next meal there.
It's finna rain.
It is finna rain. What do you rate it? now dinner time and we are going to be making some salmon, some mini potatoes.
What?
And some asparagus. Right.
Well, you say it's okay.
Yeah. I'll wait till it's done. Okay.
Alright.
Don't do it
I'm
again.
not gonna
You promise?
Yes, babe.
Change!
I said promise.
Alright, for the asparagus, we're just throwing them in the air
So
fryer.
for the asparagus, we're gonna put them in the air fryer. Tell them what you're gonna do with this.
I'm trying to.
Jordan's doing something with the asparagus. So right now we got onion powder, garlic, and Himalayan salt. She puts it on a little bit of foil so it's easier to clean up in the air fryer. Yeah, I'm better than you.
Yeah. Here is dinner.
The camera.
It's Sunday night, and Sunday night calls for ice cream. There's the lighting. So we are currently driving to go get ice cream in the new Whip. It's also 9:05 p.m. Alright, make sure it's not chocolate on my face. Alright, I effed up and I totally forgot to show you guys what type of ice cream we got, but I got a waffle cone with mint chocolate chip and some crazy chocolate flavor on top of it, and it was 10 out of 10 delicious.
Same thing, just birthday cake and Oreo. And this is the new ice cream spot. It's only 10 minutes away.
This
from
is
where we
the...
live. It's perfect.
We should do this every Sunday. Okay. But like only save ice cream for Sundays. We just came to an executive decision that since I am trying to eat in moderation when it comes to sweets and stuff, and I'm obsessed with ice cream, that our new ritual thing is going to be getting ice cream every Sunday night. So no ice cream on the weekdays, no ice cream on Friday or Saturday. Just Sunday. All right, let's talk binging. Like I stated earlier, it really did take me a super long time to come to the realization that I was not just eating post-show because I could eat the food, but I was in fact binging. So like any strict diet, when you're on prep, you're dieting so extremely to the point where your body starts to lack certain nutrients, and then you kind of become almost, not everybody, but most, I would say, become almost obsessed with the thought of eating real food again. So my first show, those obsessive thoughts literally took over me. And this whole experience, this is all going to be relating to my post show, and then I'll kind of relate it to this go around's post show and how it's different, and it's all just gonna relate to how it helped me and hopefully how it will help you guys. Looking back at the aftermath after my other show or my first show, it definitely was binging, but at the time I just kept telling myself, I'm like, you earned this, you deserve to eat, and I took it to the extreme. For example, I was eating when I wasn't even hungry, to the point where it made me uncomfortable. Like I would go out to eat and then come home and still be eating, and I would just get to the point where my stomach just hurt, like it physically was expanded and it just hurt. One of the other biggest things that I noticed looking back on it, and that it partly still like coincides now, is that when I'm in like a public setting, or when I was in a public setting, I would be still hungry, but I would be embarrassed to eat because I would think that people are thinking that I'm eating too much. And there was like certain times where it would really just be in like a group setting, or say like a family occasion. So after my show was in November, so I went right after the show. I had Thanksgiving, and then I had Christmas, and then New Year's. So big family occasions, and like one of the things I kept telling myself during those times was that like, this is a special occasion, it's okay, like eat whatever you want. But at the same time, I was so embarrassed to like look like I was eating so much, because in my head I'm like, you look like you're eating so much. But to everybody else, it's like, no, you're just eating normal. It's a family occasion, like whatever. But like I vividly remember like going home on Thanksgiving. I literally passed out in the car ride home, 45-minute car ride, because I was just so full. And like looking back on it, I remember sitting at the Thanksgiving table and I'm like, you're not really hungry, but like you're not gonna have this food tomorrow, so like eat it. So yeah, it wasn't like an everyday type of thing where I would just like eat. Like I was still following calories and macros loosely. I still had a meal plan, so I would like follow like meal 1, 2, 3, and then at nighttime mess around with the macros and like have something that will still satisfy my cravings. And I was trying to do that for so long, but then there were those times where like the cravings were just so much and I just couldn't control and didn't have the discipline that I have now to be like, you don't need that, or you're already full, so you don't need to go eat more. There was this specific time, and I hate talking about it because it literally, like, I'm like, why did you do that? Jake and I went out to eat. We went to this diner and we both got like a huge stack of pancakes. Like, he got his own and I got my own. I probably have a picture of it because I remember him taking a picture and he was like, both of you are beautiful, as in me and the pancakes. But anyway, besides the point. So we ate that and then we shared, I think, like disco fries, like fries with like cheese and gravy on them. I ate my whole thing of pancakes. It had Nutella on it, had bananas, it had granola. Like, it was a big meal. So we went home that night and we were just sitting, and it was probably like 3 hours later. We went to the diner like late. It was like probably 8:30 at night. And then it's later at night, it's like 11 p.m. I'm still full, but the thought of having like a burger and fries enticed me. So what did we do? We got burgers and fries literally 2.5 hours after we just ate at the diner. And like, these meals were big. They were fatty, they were big. And it's okay to have a fatty meal once in a while, but like right after another, when you're not even hungry, like, it was to the point again where I felt so sick. I felt grossed out. I felt nauseous. I felt so uncomfortable. Like, it was uncomfortable bloated, like just food just sitting in me. I just remind myself of that night and how sick I felt, just like physically sick, and just the control or the non-control I didn't have then, but now I have. All right, so just to put a little timeline on this, and I'm gonna include visuals and everything, I was 112.2 pounds, I believe, for stage weight last show. I was shredded. It was the most shredded, most lean I've ever been ever. Within 2 weeks after my show, exactly 2 weeks, I looked back at my check-in photos and my weigh-ins, I gained 12.2 pounds. And yeah, like, you can notice I was puffy, I was bloated, my face blew up, like, it was a lot. And like, looking back at the pictures now, I never realized how drastic it actually was. And of course, like, the way I view myself is gonna be different how you guys view me, but it was night and day difference from now looking at it versus, like, I would wake up and be like, okay, yeah, I gained like 3 pounds, but like, you can't really tell. You could tell though. All right, and then fast forward a little bit over, like, this whole binging type of deal, like cycle, lasted probably like 2.5 months before I was like, girl, you gotta get your shit together. All right, so after those 2.5 months, I weighed the heaviest I've ever weighed, literally ever. I got up to 133.7 pounds in 2.5 months, which is 21.5 pounds heavier than my stage weight in literally just 2.5 months. So at that point, when I remember looking, like, taking my check-in photos and I have the video, I literally looked at myself in the mirror and I said, what have you done? And that was like you gotta get your stuff together, girl. Like, this is gonna become very unhealthy if you don't take actions now. All right, so what are some main things that I did to overcome or stop this binging phase? Number one, I recognized it. Fixing something or like curing something, just making something better, the first step is always recognizing the problem. I knew what the problem was. The problem was me. I didn't have any control, and I was just, the discipline just wasn't there. So I recognized that, and I sat down and I was really truthful to myself, and I looked at the pictures, my progress photos, and I was like, you didn't want this to happen, and this is exactly what happened. Like, going into post-show, I was like, I'm not gonna be one of those people that bingy and, you know, all that stuff, but it happened, and I recognized that, and that's step number one. So after recognizing it, I kind of just was like, I remember like complaining to my boyfriend, not even complaining, I was just genuinely like upset about it. And he said, well, we don't have to go out to eat that much. And I was like, there's step number two. Going out to eat, literally, like, you can make the same types of food at home, just so much healthier, less calories, less oils, less butters. He was a huge support in that, and we were both just like, all right, let's limit the amount of times. Like, yeah, we could still go on date nights, stuff like that, but let's limit it. So there's step number two. Step number three, and this is a huge one. So it got to the point where I hated, like, when I was in these 2.5 months, I hated taking my progress photos. I was just so upset. But I'm also so thankful that I did take them, because now I have them to compare with this year and look back on and just kind of, you know. So accountability is definitely the third step. I kind of just went off and did my own thing in those 2 months. I was still lifting, but I wasn't lifting with intention. So yeah, I just wasn't holding myself accountable. My coach always asked for my progress photos, always asked how I was doing. So that really helped me out. And I think just one of the biggest things for accountability is just like, I know what I'm capable of when it comes to a healthy lifestyle and physique and all that fun stuff. So like I kind of took accountability for my own actions and accountability for what my future self was about to do. I also kind of touched upon this, but speaking up about it to like my friends and my boyfriend, having that support from them and just knowing that they know what's going on, like that helps a ton. So obviously I already told you guys about my boyfriend, like he was like, let's limit it. And I told him, like, if you notice that I'm starting to get into like this whole head phase of like, I need to eat this, like stop me. I did get offended. I like, you know, when you're eating and someone's like, are you still gonna eat all that? And you're like, don't be annoying. Like it wasn't like that. It was more so accountability. Again, the support system. It was him saying like, we just ate, like, do you really need to finish eating this right now or can it wait for later? And I'm like, take a step back. He's right. Don't get annoyed. And like, he did everything to kind of help me out. Nothing was ever to be like offensive at all, but just having like, even like bodybuilder friends or people that know what bodybuilding is like makes like night and day difference when it comes to post-show support. One of the things I also, when I was like realizing everything that has happened over the past 2.5 months, I sat back and I realized that I was in this restrictive slash binging phase. So like I went straight out of my show. I went back on a meal plan following these same foods every single day. That to me was restrictive. Like after being in prep, like a strict prep and then going straight back into a meal plan, like that for me was restrictive. And everybody's different of course, but I just couldn't, I don't think I could have handled it like at that time. So my next thing would be that I started to eat intuitively rather than strict meal plan, because I think that's, like I said, why I fell into this cycle. But again, like I was eating clean just intuitively, and intuitively I wasn't tracking. I was just like eating when I was hungry. We would still go out on like date nights. I would still hang out with my family, go out to eat every once in a while, and like things started to calm down. I wasn't as puffy, and that was really giving me some confidence. And then the last thing, and this is something that I not only tell myself, but I tell my friends, I tell my clients, I tell my Instagram followers, everyone, the food is always going to be there. And that's something I personally failed at like realizing and reminding myself at post-show. Like again, let's relate it back to the holidays. When I'm like spending holidays with my family and there's holiday cookies, like I'm like, I have to eat as many as I can now because the holiday doesn't last forever. So like the food will always be there. Like it's not just because it's a holiday and the food's there doesn't mean you have to shove it down your throat. You know what I mean? We have a guest with us. Hi. And then alongside just reminding myself that the food's always going to be there, I constantly remind myself of my goals. I have physique goals. I have health goals. I have all these different goals that relate to health and fitness. And if I stayed just like in this binge cycle or binging cycle, those goals wouldn't have been met, you know? So always in the back of my head, I have my goals. I always remind myself the food will always be there. Nothing's gonna happen to you if you don't eat the food. Like that's like as simple as it sounds, those 3 things are always in the back of my head, especially now that I'm in my second off-season post-show. Like I know now that it's completely different. Now that we are post-show, right off the bat, I literally switched up everything. I planned to go food shopping as soon as I got home from my show, started eating fruits, veggies, healthy proteins, limited the amount of times me and Jake or my friends went out during the week. And even if we did go out for the week, like I made sure to get healthy stuff. So if we got sushi, I would try not to get like fried stuff. So, and it's only been a month and I still just feel so in control this time around because I took with what I learned from last show and used it for this time. So it's really just like, I feel so much better this year. There's always room for more improvement. Obviously, there's still days where I eat out when I probably have the same thing at home, but I'm human and that's life. And this isn't just, I just wanted to make this a note. This isn't just like post-show. Like people struggle, although you may not have binge eating disorder, but people still go through these cycles of binge eating or binging. So I think that it's necessary for me to just kind of mention like, this isn't just like secluded to like post-show or bodybuilding. Like, no, this happens daily to people. So yeah, ultimately I just really wanted to like come on here and talk about this because for the longest time I denied it. I just said that I was overeating and all this stuff, but realistically your girl was binging and it happens, and human, we make mistakes, but the only thing we can do from mistakes is just learn from them, you know? I just wanted to speak upon this because I have hopes that if you guys are struggling with any type of binging or overeating, that some of my tips will help you. So with that being said, we're gonna end this off on a happy note, and I hope you guys have a great day and enjoyed the video, and make sure to like and subscribe to see more.